In 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6, there is a verse that I think about time and time again. Let me read it. It says, "And David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because all the people were bitter in soul, each for his sons and daughters. But David strengthened himself in the Lord." I remember a number of years ago just having a couple weeks that were just so frustrating. My wife tried to share a verse with me, and I heard her, but I wasn't listening. A few days later, she tried to share the same verse with me again. I really wasn't listening to what she was saying. She said, "I just feel like I need to share this with you." A number of days later, I'm out in this garage. She's over there. And I'm just venting. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. And I don't have a proper outlet. And she said, "I just feel like I need to share that." And I said, "Are you serious? You're going to, again?" And I thought in my mind, this verse isn't going to do nothing for me. It felt like just sitting in a Sunday school class, someone telling you something spiritual. Like, I got real stuff I'm dealing with. And the next day, her and the kids decided they should get away from grumpy dad. And I can't blame them. And I just, for whatever reason, sat down and opened the Bible and came to a verse. Wouldn't you know it? Reminded me of what my wife was trying to tell me. And so when I think about this verse, I think about times where things are unraveling. I'm frustrated. They're not going my way. I'm not getting the response or whatever that I'm looking for in whatever situation. And I've considered this verse, and there have been times where I've thought about 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6, "And David strengthened himself in the Lord." And I thought, I really don't feel like doing that right now. I want to fix this. I want a result. I want something. And there's times where we just need to shut it down for a minute and allow God to reset us. The context of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6 is David is already anointed king, but Saul doesn't really want to give up that position, which would make sense. Saul is attempting to kill David. Saul's son Jonathan told David, "Oh, he's going to kill you. You need to get out of here." So David takes off running. 1 Samuel chapter 21, David gets the bread of presence, lies and says that he's got men with him, but he really doesn't. So he's run from the people of Israel. He's run from the place where the people of God are represented. He goes to the enemy side. He goes to the Philistines. 1 Samuel chapter 27, David flees to the Philistines. David leaves the people of God, and he goes and lives with the enemy of God's people. He's desperate. Desperate men do dumb things. And while he's there, he's successful for a while. But it gets to the point where the Philistines say, "Oh no, we don't trust this guy. This is the same guy that killed our mighty warrior Goliath. How do we not know he's not going to do the same thing to one of our guys or our whole army?" They said, we're not doing this. So 1 Samuel chapter 30, David and his men have been rejected by the Philistines. They go back home. As they're going back to their home, their city has been raided. It's been ransacked. This was typical then. This is what David did when he would go in. Place has been ransacked. I'm sure as they're making their way closer to their city, they anticipate coming home, getting food from home, getting to see their wife, their kids, sleep in their own bed, all the creature comforts, only to realize the whole place is destroyed. To make matters worse, their homes are leveled. They're destroyed. There's no home. And even if there were a home, there wouldn't be anybody in it because their wives and children have been taken. I mean, you talk about worst case scenario. I don't know about you, but I've had some drives back to the house or I am not in a good spot. I know walking in, the dust of the day is still covering everything about me. The dust of the day is in my lungs. I know when I start to speak, it's going to come out. I know that. There are times where the things that have happened throughout the day are making their way into my house. And I was disrespected during the day, so nobody's going to disrespect me in my house. People weren't listening to what I had to say today. They'll make sure they're listening when I come home. They are going to listen to what I have to say. I didn't get my way. I didn't get a response. All the things I felt lacking throughout the day, oh no, that's not what's going to transpire when I come home tonight. What a small way to exist. Well, here's David. He comes back and everything's been ransacked, raided. And the people were, his men were, well, they talked about stoning him. And I would imagine at that point it wasn't much of a secret. You know how it is. If somebody messed with your wife, someone messed with your kids, someone messed with your house, wouldn't be much of a secret, would it? You would say, we're going to do something about this. And what did David do when all this happened? He had nowhere to turn. He couldn't turn to his buddies because his buddies wanted to kill him. He can't go to his wife and kids. They're gone. He can't go sit out in the garage. It's flattened. David strengthened himself with the Lord. That's all he could do. God's strength, God's presence, God's power was everything David needed in that moment. You see, I've said before, if we would just tell God more things, we could tell other people less things. That doesn't mean I don't speak to my wife and kids. What that means is I get myself right with the Lord. And Jarrett strengthened himself in the Lord. I get myself right with the Lord so that I'm right when I'm around them. I get myself right with the Lord when I'm going into a meeting or a conversation or a phone call. I get myself right in the Lord because His strength will always overcome my weakness. His presence is far better than my perseverance. If I'm truly going to live a quiet life, if I'm really going to mind my own business and work hard and be dependent upon nobody, I have to find my strength in the Lord. Check that out. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. Amen. I'll talk to you in a little bit.